all those things we were talking about earlier, that all these top players will struggle at AFCON. AFCON doesn't hear pace and power, no trends at AFCON. You were saying all that one.
Me?
Yep, all those controversial opinions have been put to bed now, and the top ballers are balling.
Shopsy's lying against me.
Reel the tape. Reel the tape now. It's YouTube, everything is there now. Reel it. So bro, a bomb dropped in the football world this weekend. Mason Greenwood is in the news for reasons he wouldn't want to be in the news for. He's been charged for domestic violence and he's been arrested.
Exactly. So his girlfriend has alleged that he raped her and he violently abused her. This is a player that everybody has been looking forward to as like the future of Manchester United's attack, and even the future of England's attack.
Exactly.
So this is this is not what we're supposed to be hearing about somebody like Mason Greenwood. If you remember, and I think he's a player of quote and unquote questionable character. If you remember during World Cup, Russia 2018, him and Foden were actually, they were caught doing the wrong thing. They were out breaking COVID protocols when they were supposed to be in the camp, hanging out with girls and doing stuff like that. Like, bro, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that.
This is crazy because this is just the most recent version of this sort of story we've heard. And football needs to actually look within. Young footballers need to be educated, and this is a serious problem that really needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think it's a problem now because Benjamin Mendy just recently is in jail. I mean, we're looking at jail 11 now. Remember
apparently
when was in jail too. Jail 11 would have been fire. Would have been a fire team. But this is just wrong on all levels. We've seen pictures. His girlfriend's face bloodied. We've heard a voice note. All sorts of incriminating stuff, but the jury is still out. He's been charged because he's already.
So he's been charged at the moment. He was arrested late at night, I think yesterday night, because the news broke during the day. During which time we've seen Manchester United players unfollow him. The club has said that he cannot return to training and he's not going to play any matches until this is resolved.
And I think that's good. This is the club and his team taking decisive action.
I mean, we say that, but we say he was suspended immediately, but he was suspended when it broke to the news, because there have been rumors that the club and the press had known about this before and kept quiet about it. And this will be the first time we've heard of Premier League football clubs protecting their players in these situations. Like we heard after the Mendy news first broke, Manchester City still had him in a couple squads. We still see Bissouma playing, and so the club really needs to look within. This is a problem from the top.
No, I think it's more like a situation where they need to just wait and see. At the end of the day, these stories can pop up at any time. So it's like, let's see, is there any credibility to it? And now there's more than enough evidence. But I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, but bro, there's a lot of evidence to show that this guy actually probably did this.
Like if you haven't seen everything, a trigger warning. If you're gonna look at the images and the all the media that's come out has been quite triggering.
Quite triggering, to be very honest, and very unfortunate. I hope all the injuries sustained by his girlfriend don't lead to anything too serious for her.
Moving on, it's the January transfer window. A lot's been going on. Players have been moving. New managers are coming in. It's like the midpoint in the season, so I guess it's time to reevaluate what you thought was going to click, may or may not click. So it's time to switch things around. There'll be a couple decided, like my team, for example, we just picked up Luis Diaz for £35 million from Porto. I think can bring a lot to Liverpool side.
At the end of the day, I think that's another player. I don't agree. I think he's another player that we don't know anything about him. He's playing in Portuguese league. He's shining. You think he'll come to the Premier League and just ball?
Speaking of shining in the Portuguese league, I remember a last player that came to England from the Portuguese league, your own Portuguese Magnifico for Sporting like Cristiano.
This one came and hit the ground. These ones came and hit the ground.
So I definitely think, as a Liverpool fan, maybe I'm biased, but this has all the makings of a good Liverpool side. This is how we do our business. Underground player, £35 million. We don't overpay like certain clubs, and they come in and they do the business. Young, humble ballers, hungry, ready to go.
Yeah, big kudos to Liverpool's scouting network. They usually keep their deals under wraps and then before it happens. But this one was one of the few ones that have been highly publicized.
Yeah, because Tottenham were trying to swoop in for the deal, so we had to hijack it. And then, speaking of Tottenham, man, what's going on in North London? Why does nobody want to play football in North London? Arsenal and Tottenham are just...
But the truth is, football is no longer in North London. They should just... Arsenal, Tottenham, these are teams that are like
Yeah, they might have to pack it in over there, man. Like, the London clubs ballers, like West Ham, Crystal Palace, those are the clubs exciting me in London this time. So yeah, they missed out on Adama, they missed out as a collective, as themselves. They missed out as they're together at this point, they're at the same level, there's no separation. So yeah, Adama, Luis Diaz, Vlahovic, like, it's getting quite embarrassing, man.
I mean, I don't think they will be embarrassed because at the end of the day, that's...
And to top it off, they might be losing Aubameyang. So Arsenal fans, I need to know what you guys think about Arteta, man. Because this stuff is interesting. He's just fighting his players.
So that's the thing. I think he's just a very decisive person. He does not. He won't take any kind of nonsense. So if you do rubbish, he kicks you out.
But you heard that, and then you also heard like, so why hasn't Xhaka been released yet?
Xhaka did not have any.
Wasn't he the manager when Xhaka removed his armband, threw off, told the fans to do on, and stormed off the pitch? I'm not sure, but he might have been captain now.
No, that wasn't. That was
Emery.
That was Emery.
This is the banter era. Good evening. It's easy to mix up the Arsenal banter era, man.
So yes, final day of this January transfer window. Everton have announced Lampard.
Yeah, that's man. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. But what I want to look at is, as you mentioned before we started, players like this who have gone on to become managers. Lampard, Gerrard. Gerrard did well with Liverpool, with Rangers.
We all have different fates, but there's something that these stories always have in common. Like, we don't see, it's very rare that we see black footballers go on to get managerial roles.
That's another.
Like, would Frank Lampard be here if he was Didier Drogba?
That's another angle.
I don't know about that.
I think, how would you take on a club as big as Everton with that little, you know?
After just failing.
What's actually in his CV? What's in his resume?
No, a sacking at Chelsea. I guess he did this and at Derby.
Maybe.
They didn't even get promoted.
Is that enough to actually bring you to a big
It's definitely enough. That's why I have to start looking at certain privileges that people of certain pigmentation tend to get over others. But
angles.
I can be a conversation for another day.
But still on Everton, they've actually announced
Van de Beek.
And I think that's good for both parties.
Everton
have had problems in their midfield. Doucouré, long-term injury.
Alan's been out for a bit.
Exactly. So they need a creative midfielder, a playmaker like Van de Beek. And Van de Beek struggling for game time over the past how many months that he has been.
You guys had him in a jail.
He has not played he has not played the length of. He has played only about 567 minutes. That's the length of about 7 matches only.
It actually makes me wonder who made that signing at United, but I feel like you might need to dedicate a whole episode. You need to have an intervention for Manchester United. Maybe we'll get another United fan up here, we'll sit around the group, and we need to get to the bottom of what's going on at that club.
Put on some candles and just do some intercession.
We need to get involved.
Do some intercession.
But yeah, AFCON, we're getting deeper into AFCON, and the men are standing up and being counted.
So at the end of the day, it's a case of the talisman coming out and proving themselves.
Exactly.
Salah.
All those things we were talking about earlier, that all these top players will struggle at AFCON. AFCON doesn't hear pace and power, no Trent at AFCON. You were saying all that one. Yep, all those controversial opinions have been put to bed now, and the top bowlers are balling. Did you watch the Egypt game?
Shopsy's lying against me.
View the tape now. It's YouTube, everything is there now.
But really good players, talisman coming up.
Mane got the assist yesterday, Salah got the goal and assist. Hakimi got knocked out by Salah, but prior to that, he's been balling out. Like Abubakar firing Cameroon, potentially to the finish line. So that's a crazy game. That's a game that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Cameroon, Egypt.
Semi-final, Cameroon versus Egypt. It will be amazing to see. But I think I would like to point out at this juncture, some of my predictions are still on as far Sabi boy, Jige.
What are these predictions, I beg?
Burkina Faso, dark horse, knocked out Tunisia, 1-0. They bowled Tunisia. Tunisia were crap. And I'm very happy because Tunisia knocked Nigeria out, and of course they should
I mean, was the double S work? Because they knocked Nigeria out, so it's good that they're going on, but it's like, we lost to this? Really? Like, should I really be backing Nigeria going forward? Like,
but yeah, I think dark horse, Burkina Faso, they seem to want to, they really want it.
They're on a mission, man.
I feel like they'll get into the finals. I think they'll get into the finals.
So at this point, who do you think is winning the tournament? Say it now. All our other predictions are out.
No, don't do that.
Why?
You can't reset. Hold on to your Algeria,
okay.
and I hold on to my Ivory Coast.
But you're gone home too now.
I've done them before.
Okay, so should I pick my own dark horse? Okay, you hold on to.
picked your
Okay, no.
dark
This guy has slipped up. So he picked his. I didn't pick a dark horse.
You picked your dark
I
horse.
didn't. Okay, when you're reeling the tape of what he said about trends, wheel this one too. But before we get there, my own dark horse now is I'm going to go Egypt.
Fraudulent behavior.
I'm going to go Egypt.
You
Like,
can't say Egypt.
obviously, I could have been fake. No. See, do you know what I'm saying? Egypt. I could have been fake and gone for Cameroon. Obviously, they're on form. But I say, you know what? Let me back my boy. I'm going to go Egypt.
Should I tell you the truth? You cannot now say Egypt is a dark horse because they were favorites to win the tournament from the jump.
That's not true.
A dark horse is
That's not true. Egypt were not favorites to win tournament.
A team you do not expect to go far.
I know you guys
or to
watched.
go through.
I know you guys would have watched that Nigeria-Egypt match.
Please.
Did Egypt look like favorites to you?
No, they did on paper.
No, on the pitch. But yeah, on the pitch they weren't. And they were
Nobody
favorites
knew
on
what
paper
that
now.
happened.
Cameroon were higher ranked than them. Algeria were higher ranked
that's
than
why we
them.
did this
Senegal were higher ranked than
That's
them.
why
now.
we did this.
So now when my boy Salah wins, they will now
That's
say
why
you were
we
supposed to
did
win.
That's why we did these predictions before the whole thing started. It's not now that you've seen Salah do one or two things, you now say that.
No, yeah, that's my dark horse pick.
We're not here for that. Anywho, Burkina Faso seems to be going far, and Vincent Aboubakar, who I said was going to win the top goal scorer award. Currently top goal scorer in the
He's
tournament,
clear of
6
it.
goals.
Okay, no, but his team has 5.
Toko Ekambi.
They scored all
2.
of Cameroon's
Toko Ekambi
goals.
scored 2 yesterday.
So 6 and 5. All Cameroon's 11 goals are scored by those 2 players. It's Batman and Robin, and yeah, they're ripping up AFCON.
If we're talking about who will win it, I think my second choice to win it from the beginning, Cameroon, I think they will go ahead and win it.
Second choice doesn't count too. But yeah, Egypt are decking Cameroon.
I doubt.
I'm gonna back them, man. I'm gonna back them. Egypt, they have this way of just nullifying the way teams play. Like you just find yourself playing an Egyptian match, and it's a very strong team because it's like the strongest league in Africa. The bunch of Egyptian players that play in the league.
I think fans should put their predictions in the comment section. Who do you think will win that game? Egypt versus Cameroon. I think Cameroon. You think Egypt?
I'm going Egypt, man.
I think Cameroon.
Salah to score again.
It will score, but Cameroon.
Because you know, Salah, at the moment we're putting together a Ballon d'Or charge, and that AFCON is like Thanos with the snow. It's like, yeah, it's real. It's real. Oh no!
At this point,
if Salah wins Ballon d'Or, it's a Liverpool trophy.
Yeah, actually, it's an African trophy.
It really is an African trophy, and I appreciate that you said that. As in, I can shake your hand there. You put your agendas to the side for once.
It's about African brother. So I think we should wrap it up with Australian Open. In the men's competition, Nadal versus Medvedev. I think, of course, Nadal won it. Medvedev brought his A game. But if Djokovic was in the competition, do you think he would have won?
So me, I'm not that big a tennis guy. I'm going to be honest, but there's something about that Djokovic guy, bro. That guy, he gives me like, I don't know. Let me make a football reference. He has like that. Someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, like the guy is a machine.
You're
like,
right. You're
ice is in his
correct when you
veins.
say that he is a very talented player and he's a savvy boy, 100%. He was gunning for his 27th Grand Slam title.
Bro, and Nadal is getting on with age, and Nadal just came back from an injury. So him winning was even special. So I think he was up against Italian like Djokovic.
He would
have gone differently.
Would have gone differently. And then in the Australian Open, the women's segment, Ashley Barty won it. And this was the first Australian Open where an Australian would win.
Wow.
In 44 years.
That's big for the city. Shout out the Australians, shout out the Kangaroos and all them.
The Aussies.
The Aussies, yeah, good. But yeah, speaking of Nadal, this weekend I was thinking, so Tom Brady retired, and yeah, that's big news. And when I got that news, I was happy. Because I'm tired of that generation of athletes. And that includes Nadal. Federer, Tom Brady, Messi, Ronaldo, Serena Williams. They all need to go, bro. They all need to go. It's been happening for too long. Why is LeBron playing 18 All-Star games? I saw that Ty Lue was a player the last time LeBron was not an All-Star. So I think these guys need to move on. They need to pass the baton on, and let's see young guys doing it. Like, it's selfish at this point.
But unfortunately, we have young guys like Mason Greenwood just taking us back. Nonsense.
Anyhow, that's an episode. Thanks for rocking with us. We appreciate you guys. Like and comment. Remember to give us your AFCON predictions. And just give us your predictions for what's going to happen. Anything that you predict is going to happen between now and the end of the season. Give us your predictions. And you might get a prize if you say something that really shocks you. It can be your top 4 predictions. It can be anything sports related. Write it in the comments. Engage. Get them.